by the power of Grayskull.
Now for a lesson. You may have heard these words before, but I'll teach you what they really mean. Go beyond! Plus!
Woo! How you doing? Oh, we are almost, wow, already. We're almost at 6,000. Dude, I should have been making these shorts. I should make more shorts than live streams. Golly, Daisy. I'm at I'm at 5.97. Damn. Oh shit. Should I go to do 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 do? Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I mean, what else do we expect from this shit? So how y'all doing today? Oh. Don't worry, we're gonna have a Q&A as well. So if anybody wants to join the Q&A, get some T&A, and I ain't talking about the Wrestling Federation. Score. Oh man. He said, "Fool, that's what Angry Man did." Yeah, you're right. You're right. Shit. You know, I'm facing. I have more growth in the past 2 months than I had in the past 2 years. I just hit what 5,000 a month ago, and I'm going next to fucking Jesus. That's all I'm working on is all your damn shorts now. Hell, I don't even need to do live streams to get some traction for that action. Oh. It's kind of funny because a lot of people have lesser content and and I think I do a pretty good job. I think I do a pretty damn good job. But we're also going to talk about something about the reels. You get what I'm saying? Yep. We're going to talk about the reels. I want to point this out to you. And this is what I had to learn as a young man. And after this, we're going to have a Q&A, so you can ask me whatever you want that's lingering on your mind. And I might even open up a damn panel and have people talk. But I'm going to get my little spiel out real quick. In order to grow, you have to get out your comfort zone. That's number one. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you think you're going to be. To grow, you're going to have to get out your comfort zone. That being said, getting out your comfort zone pretty much puts you smack dab in difficulty avenue on the corner of Ain't This Some Shit Boulevard. Okay? What does Thomas Sowell always say? There's no solutions, only trade offs. A lot of young people, including myself when I was younger, thought there was always a solution. One thing you get used to is saying, what losses are you willing to take? That's just what it is. You know, when I had a conversation with my godson, and I'm not going to get into details of it, it's nothing malice or anything like that. But there comes a time when every man has to make a decision. And I always tell him, I never taught you what to think or how to think, but I always taught you to think. And when you make the trade-offs, are these trade-offs something that you can live with? And I truly think that a lot of young people were never given the permission nor the guidance on how to be like that. Because traditionally, what happens? Everybody wants to take control of your life. I'm not here to take control of you. What's the old song? I ain't trying to bite you. I just want you to hang on. And unfortunately, in a lot of young people's lives, we've done bad jobs. We've done really bad jobs, literally, raising children properly. I want you to really think about that. Have we made a good showing of raising young people to take over the world? If you say yes, then you're a fucking liar. You have to get out your zone of comfort. And I don't care who you are. Difficulty, it's what makes you better. You're always going to be judged on the greatness you can bestow. And that's one of the hardest things that nowadays we're producing is greatness. And what you really have to have is a measuring stick. You have to have a system where it's okay to fail. It's okay to take the L. But at the same time, you have to be able to tell the kids, okay, you fell down. What do they always say in Batman? Why do we fall down? Because we always learn to get back up. You shouldn't have people who are teenagers nowadays who can't cook, who can't change a tire, who can't manage a house, who can't fix a hole in the sheetrock, who don't know how to tighten up a pipe with a wrench, who can do at least basic necessities. But we, along with the younger people, gotten comfortable. And comfortability does not breed success. Too much comfortability breed obsolescence. There should be a drive, a major drive within your soul, a driving force that says, I want to conquer. And I'm going to tell everybody, if you don't have that type of drive, because many of us don't, so let's not lie. Let's not fucking lie. Many of us don't. We are going to have to reinstate a lot of things first within ourselves. What's up, Snowman? Yours truly, John. AL, Blood Boiling, ABM, Little Rock, what's up? We have to reinstate some stuff within ourselves. And it's not just being great, but it's also being competent. Before you have greatness, you must have competency. Somebody please put that in the chat. Before you can have greatness, you must have competency. And this is where a lot of people fail greatly. This is where a lot of people fail greatly. You have to toil. You have to sweat. Sometimes you may even have to bleed. To get that greatness. And there's nothing wrong with it. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. You have to go over that situation, that problem, that hold, that scheme, that routine repetitively over and over, numerous times, more than you can possibly count. You have to build up competency before greatness. And you cannot be great without getting in the mud. Okay? See, a lot of people nowadays, young, in between, and old, are starting to think that you can be great without the toil, without the struggle. And there's a difference between struggle and incompetency. Because a struggle, you're supposed to learn respect for the objective at hand. Don't come to me and say, hey, don't come to me and say, hey, this is difficult. This is difficult. Why is it difficult? It's difficult because why? It's something that has great difficulty. What do you think the reward will be? And we'll go back into the gynocentric things for a second. This is the reason why women with lesser bodies, as few as possible bodies, are more valued than the town whore. And let's get this right. Men love sluts. Men just aren't trying to marry sluts. We love sexually available women. We just don't trust sexually available women. Because if it was easy for me to get you, 9 times out of 10, it's easy for the next person to get you. You have no loyalty. You have no honor. It's just like a man who is a quote unquote bum. And I don't mean somebody just homeless. I mean bum mentality, because you could be homeless and still have a work ethic. You just have a string of bad luck. We're talking about a true bum, not trying to get shit out of life. Are you going to be valued by women? The only valued you're going to be to women are the women who are trying to control a man. Now, we're going to go back to this and say, why do we look at a person with a PhD with high esteem? Because not everybody can go through that gauntlet of academia, of high academia, and go through the toil. Why do you think we look at guys who are special operations, Navy SEALs, Marine recons, pararescuemen? Why do we look at them and say, wow? Because the journey that they had to take upon themselves was so great that the average person can't even comprehend. That's why. So when we're looking at getting out your comfort zone, what are you willing to sacrifice for greatness? What are you willing to sacrifice for greatness? For a lot of young people, you may have to sacrifice partying all the damn time. You may have to sacrifice long hours of study. You may have to. But there's nothing wrong with that, as long as you gain out of it. It's no different than when, the patron saint of the manosphere, hallowed be his name, Kevin Samuels, the godfather of style and profile, told women and broke men, out of shape women and broke men, there's a certain standard that you have to obtain to get what you want out of life. Now, what are you willing to give up? If you see yourself as a man and you said a female is your responsibility, then guess what? It's your responsibility to find them a home. It's your responsibility to make a home. If it's your responsibility to raise children, you're supposed to raise those children to the greatest of your capabilities. There is no excuse in the adult world that's great enough to keep you from succeeding if you choose to. There are supposed to be ups and downs. I'm never going to lie to you and say there will not be. Sometimes it's your health, sometimes it's your economics and finances, sometimes it's your political ideology, sometimes it's family, sometimes it's your occupational. But guess what? Difficulties like death and taxes will always be here. People always say, Charles, why do you celebrate birthdays so much? Why do you always see those as holidays? Because they are. If you don't celebrate yourself, who will? We get so many victories out of life. So many. Why not celebrate them? It takes a lot of discipline to be consistent. It takes a lot of discipline to be consistent. I could skip out on this one time. I don't have to run here. I don't have to do this. What's the old saying? Discipline is doing what you don't want to do when nobody's looking, but you're doing it like you love it. Or you do it because it's needed. You got to think to yourself, one of the biggest shackles you will ever find in your life is regret and incompetency. I always say this, stupidity is a choice. Stupidity is a choice, and so is incompetency. Instead of saying, I need to learn my craft, I need to practice my craft, I need to get it out the mud and get it back in the blood, I chose differently. That's what a lot of people are saying. I chose differently. Sometimes, I'm not going to lie to you, a little failure goes a long way. What's the old saying? The best way to get on your feet is to get off your ass. The best way to get on your feet is to get off your ass. Well, I don't know. Shut the hell up. Try. Sometimes it's parents, godparents, uncles, aunts, grandparents, guardians, mentors, instructors. Sometimes you got to make difficult situations to make them learn how to make a difficult decision. It may hurt your soul. It may make you cry when you see them leave. But you have to teach them how to make a goddamn decision, especially when you're not around. Because if a child does not learn how to make a decision, life will make the decisions for them. You have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. But Charles, you're not making too much sense. You're not making too much sense, Charles. First time I went to a bench press contest in Iraq, I couldn't get past 290. Couldn't do it. After that contest, I felt so embarrassed. Next thing you know, 260, 275 on the bar. Get about 2 to 3 good reps on it. Rest. 2 to 3 good reps. Rest. Guess what happened? My muscles were torn. That's where you get the term shredded. I had to eat some protein, get some water. I had to fuel and actually rebuild the muscle because the muscle becomes denser, thicker, harder, and shorter, or usually a faster twitch. I started developing strength. So when at one time I couldn't even press past 290, I'm at a time now where I'm repping it. Sometimes that's my starting point. But look how much of a process I had to go through. You have to never be afraid of the goddamn crucible. And let me break this down because a lot of people may like or dislike what I'm about to say. You will be afraid of the unknown. There will become some nervousness, but you should never be petrified. It's okay to go through something with some fear, but it's not okay to be petrified. Put that down for time immemorial. It's okay to go through your journey with a little bit of fear, but it's not okay for you to be petrified. Too many of us are too damn afraid to climb that mountain, to conquer that dragon, to slay that beast. Too many of us are afraid of that. But the greatest obstacle to overcome is usually ourselves. The greatest obstacle to overcome is usually ourselves. What do you mean by that? We have a little thing in our head called doubt. Doubt is put there because of, once again, the fear of the unknown. It's going to hurt. We want to live in a lap of luxury and comfort. We don't want to go beyond and plus ultra. But doubt will keep you from glory. There's no way in the hell you're going to have glory with doubt. And so many times has doubt creeped into the minds of all. Doubt has creeped into the minds of all. Okay? Doubt has made us a liar and a weakling. You feel me? Doubt has made you ashamed to show your intellectual prowess. Doubt has made you a failure of being dedicated to what you need to become. Doubt has made you succumb to the ills of peer pressure when you know you should be the leader and not the follower. Let me know if I'm making sense. We got 14, 17 watching. I don't even know anymore. Give me a woo in the chat if I'm making some damn good sense. Give me a woo in the chat if we making some damn good sense. Because I'm going to tell you, from a guy who can average any time of day at 150 to 200 live viewers to barely scratching 30 live viewers, where you know I'm being shadow banned because I'm getting more and more subscribers each passing day. I didn't let the doubt creep in my mind. I just had to find another avenue to fight. It's like MMA. If the guy got better hands, I got to be a better wrestler. If the guy's a better wrestler, I better have better hands. If he's a better wrestler or a boxer, I better have better submissions. If he has better of those three, I better have better cardio and strength. There's always an avenue to fight and to gain an advantage. Excuse me. How far are you willing to dig deep? You're right. You're right. I'm going to probably have to take my role to Twitter. I'm probably going to have to go to Twitter. Deuce. If you could go live on Twitter, I'm going to have to do it. Because right now, with the amount of, if you look at my live viewers, right, excuse me, my subscriptions right now, I should be averaging about 200 alive. No way. What's up, Ari? You're right. I'm gonna have to start a Patreon. I'm gonna have to make you pay where you lay. See, a lot of times you got to be willing to pick the strategy to say, I'm not the best in this, so I got to learn how to become better within it. There's no shame, and people need to say this to themselves and put it in the chat for time and memorial. There's no shame in saying these two phrases: I don't know, or I need help. For some odd reason in the black community, we're shamed for asking for help. We're shamed for saying, I don't know. One of the biggest arguments you see in this space is everybody's got to be the number one rat. Everybody got to win the rat race, forgetting you're the number one rat. You're still a goddamn rat. I, Charles Lawrence Faulkner Jr., do not know everything. But what do I do know? I've tried my best to master. And if I don't have the capabilities of mastering it, I will introduce you to the people who have. Or I'm willing to learn to sit at the table of who does have such a mastery. The typical problem that most young people, especially young men, face is the fact that you don't know and you're too ashamed to say you don't. There's nothing wrong with it. Not a damn thing wrong with it. Even if I failed, I can never blame a man for not trying. But at the same time, for a lot of the parents, guardians, grandparents, mentors, instructors, when that child or that trainee goes out there to give their best effort and try, and 9 out of 10 is their first time they're going to fail, unless they're very exceptional and gifted. But 9 out of 10, if they fail, you should always make it a safe haven for them to come back. The one lesson I've learned from comic books that I will tell you, believe it or not, it was not from a superhero. It was actually from a supervillain. You may know this guy's name. His name is Dr. Victor Von Doom. Dr. Doom. The quote is so simplistic but so deep, and please put this in the chat. I don't know losses. I only know setbacks. That's the type of mentality you should have. I don't know losses. I only know setbacks. Some people have become so diligent in their endeavors that they cannot possibly visualize themselves losing. All they know is either victory or learning. Only thing I know is either victory or learning. That tells you a hell of a lot of a difference when it comes to mentality versus the person, oh, I tried, wasn't meant for me. Did you put your best fucking effort in it? Because anybody who puts their best effort in it, they're going to be like, oh no, motherfucker, we got to run the ones again. Mm-mm. We got to run the ones again. There is no way somebody with that mentality is going to give up at the first try. So, yes, you need to embrace difficulty. Yes, you're going to need to embrace certain things in your life that are going to be hard. We should embrace being the hard men and women. A lot of people don't like responsibility, but at some time, what's the best thing about being the responsible one? You're the reliable one. You're old reliable. You're the solid rock. Even the Bible says when you build your house on solid rock and not sand, you have what? A strong foundation. And they say we only talk about the gynocracy all the time. What's the old saying? Who should I send, Lord? Send me. That's the type of attitude a winner has. Send me. There's only one time and one time only. You ain't kicking my ass because I ain't hear no bell. You're only defeated is when you truly quit. Sometimes you might need a day or two or a week or two to come back to it. But did you go back with it with some more vigor? Did you go back to it with some more angst? Did you have enough audacity? Did you have enough unmitigated gall? Do you dare to be something different? Do you challenge the status quo? Because I think in today's society, so many people are afraid to do so. So many people are afraid to do so. Your fear is a bigger hindrance than the journey itself. Your fear and insecurities are a bigger hindrance than the journey itself. There is no strength without struggle. What do I get out of this? Sometimes, especially in our community, we need to get the fuck away from instant gratification. We need to get the fuck away from instant gratification. What's the old Russian proverb? Don't go to God Almighty praying for a lighter load. Pray for a stronger back to deal with a difficult one. But why should I go through difficulties? No, ask yourself this: why not? Especially for you young men and middle-aged men out there. Stop thinking like the goddamn women. Life is a bitch to you. Okay? You know the old saying, LAPD SWAT 1? Be careful, be safe, be silent. But if you can't be silent, be deadly. Be swift as a breeze in the night. Be swift. See, there are sometimes power and violence may be the only thing people will understand. There are reasons why we have a standing military. There are reasons why there's a certain bit of ugliness that a man has to develop. There's a reason why a man has to be the meanest, the scariest, the strongest, the quickest, the most ruthless motherfucker walking. But the benefit of that is to learn how to keep that shit in control. There's no more inner peace than being a warrior in a garden. Doesn't mean that a warrior in a garden, what does he fear? What does he fear? What does the god of war fear? What does he fear? But if you're a gardener in a war, no. The god of war loves peace. That's the trick bag. He loves peace. By the way, for a lot of you who don't know this from biblical dictionary, anytime you hear the God of hosts, that usually means the God of war. The heavenly host, which means the heavenly army or the armies of heaven. The God of hosts also means God of war. A God of war fights for peace. Because the old axiom is, if you want peace, you must always prepare for war. Think about it. Schoolhouse rules. Who does the bully pick on? Does the bully pick on the kid who's peaceful? Or does he pick on the kid who's with the shits? Guess what? When I was small and I was getting picked on, I was the most peaceful child ever. But my father told me something that was really critical, and he laughed and he said, "Don't worry, son. This is how you punch, this is how you kick, and you aim here." But I don't want to hurt him. And he laughed and he said, "Hey, you'll get tired of ass whoopings. You'll get tired of wanting to hurt people to hurt you." One of the fundamental things in the military I was taught. So was I. So was it the same in the police department. Sometimes you may be called to take a life to preserve life. Those hard decisions is what we got away from. Those hard decisions is what we got away from. Stop treating your kids as they're these little precious things when they get a certain age. Yes, you can love them and hug them and kiss on them, but that's somebody's mother or father, husband or wife. That's somebody's lieutenant, somebody's boss, somebody's subordinate. How are you raising them for the rest of the world to perceive? But y'all don't hear me, though. Y'all don't hear me, though. We're too busy trying to give kids a soft life instead of giving them a better one. And sometimes being in a better life means I got to be a motherfucker. I got to put the squeeze on you because I taught you to be great. What's the old saying? We're not afraid because we're afraid not because we're inadequate. We're afraid because we're powerful beyond belief. And sometimes one of the biggest issues with fear is that you're fearing that you're actually that powerful and that strong mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. True strength isn't just wilding the fuck out, crashing the fuck out. True strength is being in control. Never letting them see you sweat. That's true strength. Why act the fool when people don't even know how to take you? There's more power when people can't question you or they can't see you. There's more power when people can't read you than you just losing your damn mind. I want you to think about that. First time I took a sergeant position at the city markets, one of the subordinates told me, "Hey, Sarge, I can never read you." And I said, "That's a good thing because you never see it coming." When a person can't get to you, that's power. When a person can't read you, that's power. We got into this crash out culture. Yeah, read a book. We got into this crash out culture. And what good has it done? What good has it done? Except people not want to hire you. Except people not wanted to trust you. What good has it done? I'll let you go with that one. Would you rather be in control of yourself and not letting anything else bother you? Be the unshakable? Be the unmovable? What did they say about Juggernaut in Marvel Comics? As soon as he puts one foot in front of the other, no force on Earth or in the universe can stop his forward momentum. You can slow him, but you can't stop him. You can't move him. The unstoppable juggernaut. You may slow me, but you will never truly beat me. You will never truly stop me. And I think that's one of the biggest lessons that we need today more than ever. Stop letting insignificant people stop you. Hell, stop letting your goddamn self stop you from greatness. I don't know. I've been flapping my lips too much for this one. Some of y'all need to get to the crucible. You want to lose weight? Do what's difficult. Do the complete opposite of what you've been doing this whole time. Sometimes a lot of us, our fitness keeps us from making money because there's certain positions that you could be doing right now hired because you're not physically fit. You can't pass a certain test. Why aren't you putting the hours down of studying? What is it? The argon? The agony? The place we're learning? The difficulty? I want you to think about that. We want to look at the fast life, the fast money, the fast women, the fast cars, the fast jewelry, and how long does it last? What's that old song? I got staying power. What made George Foreman so dangerous? He had that staying power. You go ahead and fuck with him if you want in the eighth, ninth round, and you mess around and you let him touch you, he's gonna hit you like it was a magic. Bam! Next thing you know, you don't even know where you are. You want to be that man of staying power. I don't give a fuck what your life was what was excuse me before. I don't care what struggles you have. Well, I got a record. So, are you the first nigga to have one? You won't be the last. You just got more that you got to work through. Well, Charles, well, if you put it that way, I know if I put it that way. Stop lying to yourself. Be honest with yourself. Keep yourself accountable. Love your difficulties just as much as you love your triumphs. The journey should be twice as fun as the destination. Remember that. Twice as fun. For those of you for the Q&A part, here's the link. If you want to chat, put it in the chat. There's the link. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe this to anybody you think wants to hear this message. May not be important to you, might be important to someone else. Who knows? We're going to do the Q&A / panel. Ask me my thoughts on anything, and I'll try to give you the best answer as possible. If you want to donate, I don't have Super Chat. I have Cash App. If you feel inclined, $2 to $5 a person. I don't care. At least like the damn thing. Shit. At least likes are free. This is like Bay says, this is a hobby. Could it be a career? Sure, but right now we can't put our hopes and dreams on something that's not a definite. That's foolish. What's up, A to the L?
Brother man.
What you think about what I said today?
Man, what lie was told. Not no lie was told. And it goes for me too. I'm about to resurrect myself totally. Period. That's for what? I'm not gonna keep wallowing. I ain't got time. Yeah, you told no lie. I just wanted to come up here and let you know, man, look. First chance you see Todd Monken, your offensive coordinator, around that town, do me a favor, punch him in the mouth for me. Appreciate it. Amen. The same shit Philadelphia did, he couldn't do. We're behind. Let me start. Man, look, you got a running quarterback and you got a running back that can do more than your passing back. And then you still got 2 tight ends. You supposed to be leaning on your run all day. This is January, not September. You throw in September, you run in January. Any real good coach knows that. I'm pissed off.
It's funny because we'll go on the football moment. I don't want Lamar to be the James Harden of the NFL. I want him to get the ring. He deserves it. I think that, some people get excited. Like, if you think about it, right? Joe Flacco, he was a average, probably slightly above average quarterback in the regular season. But when the playoffs come, he becomes a fucking monster.
Whole different age.
And that's the part when I tell people, send me to a tournament. Charles was on everybody's ass. I was, as my mother would say, that boy's about to walk a warpath in your ass and walk it dry. I'm about to go on an Apache warpath, and I'm doing a ring dance all up in your ass with that tomahawk. And sometimes a bit of ruthlessness will help anybody. What's up, Bay?
Hi.
Won't you be my neighbor?
Won't you please? Could you please?
Y'all with these avatars, man.
My neighbor.
Would you please be my neighbor? What do you think about what I just said? Because I don't think a lot of people are going to get it. I got to see the word gynocracy. Now people feel at ease.
Well, the gynocracy is dead and over with because there is a grown man running things. Running things.
Look at what happened so quickly within the first week. He hasn't even been president a whole fucking 7 days yet.
It wasn't happened Friday.
Y'all talking about White Cheeto, huh? White Cheeto on the warpath.
You gotta put some respect on that man's name.
Look at what let's be honest. Let's be honest. Look what the fuck JD Vance did already.
Look, what I miss? What did he do? I've been so busy caught up in the stuff Trump is doing. What did JD Vance do?
Like he said, oh, well,
Oh, what's up, Al? I'm sorry. I meant to say hi and everybody in the chat. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. Go ahead.
when he said, oh, y'all 50-50 on my nigga Hegseth, I got you, bro.
Oh, the turn your vote. Okay.
He passed that deciding vote. God damn it.
And guess what? Hegseth already said, we're bringing back warrior ethos. And I ain't got a goddamn problem with that. What's your Megatron's journey in Transformers 1 movie? I haven't really seen the Transformers movies like that. I got to look at it. But Megatron, if you know his history, Megatron is not necessarily the villain. He's just the antagonist. See, a lot of people need to realize there's a difference between an antagonist and a villain. The antagonist is just the person who opposes the protagonist. It doesn't mean he's a bad guy. Think about it.
You're killing your own.
Megatron and Optimus Prime were part of the slave culture. What is it? Is it wrong for a slave to revolt? If you got decency in your heart and some pride about yourself, you're gonna fucking revolt. So is Megatron wrong? Or is it just they had 100,000 to 1,000,000 year difference of opinion?
You know what? I put it to you like this. In all honesty, if I was Megatron, here, take your little Autobots, go play on Earth. They still use cars. Go down there, do what you do, pack y'all stuff, just like the illegals. Get the hell up out of here. There's a whole planet for you. Eventually, the humans will die out, and you all will replace them. You can enslave them. I don't care. Just get the hell out of Cybertron, and we're good.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't even mess with them.
Think about it. People get mad about Trump, and I'm talking to somebody. Well, they got rid of civil rights. No, they did not. They got rid of the fucking jobs of people who weren't qualified to get the jobs in the first place.
Shh! Don't you dare tell them that.
Oh, I'm telling them that now. In live and in living color. See, this is Galvatron was the real villain. You gotta understand something. Was Lex Luthor truly a villain? He became a villain when he started fucking with people outside of him and Superman's beef.
Lex Luthor? I'm not a Superman guy, but I can tell you this much. Based on the movie, and I have to admit, Man of Steel made me finally have respect for Superman.
It's a classic, man.
But I did not see Zod as the bad guy. You know what I'm saying? He was just a general trying to do what he could for his people.
I'm glad
because he knew what was going to happen. I mean, let's be honest about. Okay, let's delve into Man of Steel. Zod knew the planet was getting ready to be destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to get the codex and everything. Let's get the hell up out of here. But Superman's daddy Kal-El was like, nope, I'm committing genocide. Let's be honest. He was committing genocide.
Yeah.
And only wanting to save his only begotten son. Did he not do that?
Yeah. Even though they were planning, but he was like, he says, you know they're fools. He said, Jarrell, you know they're fools. We both know they're fools. And think about it. Let's answer this question very philosophically. What Zod did when he went to the council, was that the most American thing you could do?
Yeah. I mean, you had to bust some shots on a few of them, but this was an act. I mean, this was times of war. Well, yeah, I guess you could say if you're trying to be blind to the genocide, You want to sit there and die because you're lying to the people? I mean, in all honesty, let's be honest. The fucking the Kryptonians, the council were, in all honesty, they were Democrats.
Yeah.
They behaved just like Democrats. They didn't give a fuck about nobody dying, just as long as, you know, they were still sitting in power and looking to be worshipped as supreme leaders or ruling leaders.
Yeah. And they were plotting to get their own asses off the planet.
Exactly. But in all honesty, I would say where Zod went wrong, I would have talked to Superman like, look, let us get the codex out of you, all right? Or we're not going to take the whole thing. We'll take some of it, all right? Give us some of your blood. Let us get the codex. We'll go to Mars. We'll terraform Mars, okay? And then we'll start a colony there. And then that way we can do advancements with the human race. We'll advance the human race and we can work together. That's what Zod should have done. But they had to make him, you know, genocidal.
Yeah.
That would have never worked.
One. I'm sorry, go ahead, Wu-Tang.
That would have never worked.
Why not?
Because Jor-El sent he sent Superman to Earth because of the yellow sun. Zod and the rest of them, they too far away. They too far away from the sun, right?
They would have had. This is how it would have worked.
Like he sent them there specifically for that.
Yeah,
according to the movie.
They would have gained the powers, just like Superman. They could have survived on Mars very easily.
They just wouldn't have been as strong.
No,
but they could have survived.
They would have been strong, but even though you got to remember, there is no atmosphere on Mars, so they would have absorbed nothing but sunlight. That's why
when you do the machine. Remember they had the
terraforming machine.
Yeah, they had the terraforming machine. That's what that was for. To terraform the atmosphere to Krypton's likeness. No matter, really, in all honesty, no matter which planet you were on, as long as you could at least be in an enriched environment. And we don't know enough about Mars's surface to even, say that, oh, it's a dead planet. Shit, we don't even really know if there's life on there or not. There's a pyramid on there. There's a face on there. So clearly somebody was there building something.
Yeah, and you got to think about it. Even without the solar radiation,
we arguing about the movie. Let's be honest.
We are, but it's the fun part. Even without the solar radiation, because of the gravity and the more dense atmosphere, they were several times stronger than normal humans. Like hell, wait a minute. I got to just stay here maybe a couple of weeks. I get used to the atmospheric pressure. And not only that, I'm naturally stronger than you by several times over. Like I'm stronger than your fucking rhinos and elephants. And then I'm soaking up all this solar radiation and I'm going to be a god. Nigga, give me fucking New Zealand or some shit, some little island in Oceanica or some shit where we won't even be bothered by your dumb asses. And we'll just raise these race of demigods where we won't even bother your ass. Y'all gonna need us.
That's my favorite quote, by the way.
What's that? The one he put up
in the
there?
whole movie. Every action I take, no matter how violent or how cruel, is for the greater good of my people. And now I have no people. That is what you have taken from me.
Remember, I told you he's not a villain, he's an antagonist.
Hey, Chuck, I'm gonna fall out for a second, but I'll be right back. I gotta handle some business.
And that's the part about being a man of duty. Think about it. I also don't get why the Black Manosphere doesn't consider themselves Siths. We are the Siths.
No, he's saying why do he also he don't get why the Black Manosphere consider themselves Sith. Same reason why I consider myself the fucking devil. I'm a black man in America. I am the
You're
enemy.
you're the enemy. You're the antagonist. I'm gonna answer your question very, very black pill. Are black men the number one hero of America?
We've saved their ass a few times.
Historically, yes. Culturally, no. In American culture, are we the Jedi?
In American culture, hell no.
We're the enemy. We black men can do something no other race of man can do to this white ass country. We can point a finger at it and say, if you're so much the land of the free, how come I won your battles? I've saved your asses. Why am I not truly free?
You put us on the front lines in the war, and we come back with most of our regiment.
You can't do what we can do. What is your version of the Harlem Hellfighters? What is your version of the Red Wings? What is your version? Here's the funniest part, right? About America, and I'm going to be very honest. The U.S. military could have spent all this time and all this money making 120 or 60 man all black special operations unit. How successful do you think they would be?
Very. I mean, just look at the Tuskegee Airmen. They were a black fighting force, pilots.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in Ohio, we used to host them every year for decades. So keep in mind, I worked at that hotel for like 13 years. They would come every year, and of course, their numbers dwindled and dwindled and dwindled. These guys are like in their 80s and shit. So, but they always spoke about the actions that they did during wartime. It was one of the few times that they did, and I really wish I would have captured that stuff because, them guys used to cry. They'd be sitting there in their wheelchairs with their little army stuff on, and they would cry like white men would thank, members that they formed a brotherhood because they saved them. We're trapped behind enemy lines, and then the Tuskegee Airmen, they would send them in and they would bomb us out of there, and we'd make it back to base, and and then like these guys, these are like old men crying as if it happened yesterday. Sobbing. Well, you got to take a break. You know what I'm saying? Give glory and thanks to Tuskegee Airmen. Guys that they knew personally. They naming them by names. You saved me. You did this. You did that. You're talking about black pilots here. They were pretty much the rescue team. Can we be honest?
Yeah.
We weren't just cooks and mechanics. We went out and whooped. Well, by them. They went out and whooped ass. They whooped ass. They were the best fighter pilots there is. That's why they. What's the name? Who your boy? George Lucas made the Red Tails movie.
Yeah.
Although it was soft, it still told the tale. It was better than Miracle at St. Anna's, which was just two black soldiers fighting over a white French bitch. That was so stupid. Like, nigga, you ain't telling us no tale. This is coon. Oh, not coon shit, but this is Snow Bunny shit. We don't give a fuck about that. Tell the tale.
Yeah.
George Lucas told the tale with his black wife.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Think about that, right? When you have the ability to transform the mindset of how your culture is speaking or spoke upon. Think about this. When you have older white men giving praises to black men, does that change how people see your people? Does that change the so-called racism about your people?
He said she was Italian. I don't give a fuck if the bitch was exotic Canadian. A movie about two dudes fighting over white pussy, written by a black director during World War II, is fucking stupid. Or whatever. It was stupid. It was a stupid movie. Let's just be honest.
The Black Panther shall bruise the white pussy.
I'm sorry. What was your question?
So when you gave the story about the Tuskegee Airmen and white men were thinking and crying and thanking them for saving them, do you think that changed the mentality of what people seen of their race?
Back as far as the people who are directly affected,
Yes.
and maybe their family members, yes. I mean, okay, prime example. A literal prime example. Donald Trump is a literal prime example. His father was a Klansman, correct?
Well, I know he was Austrian.
Well, yeah, his father was supposedly a card-carrying Klansman.
Mm-hmm.
So
he was.
Right, he was. So here you have Trump. A lot of things that we attributed to Trump as far as being racist, all of that, the so-called most racist acts happened when? In the 70s and 80s?
Mm-hmm.
You ain't allowed to come in my apartment complex. Yeah, because the tenants don't want you in there. The Central Park 5. Again, I keep saying this. If that was your daughter that was gang raped or supposedly gang raped, found raped and beaten, 5 black dudes were caught with her personal effects on them, okay? And then some billionaire took out a full-page ad calling for them to be, whatever. You gonna call him racist?
No. The whole city, people take this out of context. The whole city was feeling that way.
What about when he first ran for president? What he said about the people coming from Mexico? They're rapists, they're drug dealers, et cetera, et cetera. They're not sending their best. Back in 2015, 2016, oh, he was so racist, wasn't he?
Then what happened?
Then Biden happened.
And what happened to some of these people's daughters?
You know what? They hid a lot of crimes that happen to black girls, especially in Chicago. A lot of young black girls were getting sexually assaulted by those illegals on the south side of Chicago. They hid the data.
Mm-hmm.
They hid the data. I mean, Brandon Johnson literally turned Chicago, the south side of Chicago, back to Republicans. Because of his silly ass actions. I mean, I think they have a recall going for him, don't they? I know so. They got one for Gavin Newsom and Karen Bobs.
Babe, give me a quick second to interlude. I'm gonna give it right back to you. I don't know if y'all noticed or paid attention. Cheeto and the vice president, they really ramping this shit up. They done brought in the DEA, they done brought in other law agencies, and they told them we want y'all this week to average between 1,000 and 1,500 arrests. They are not playing. This is serious. They're going after them in the lots. They're trying to get as many of them as they can. So everybody talk about, they just going after the worst criminals. No, he's trying to get as many of them as he can. And if the Colombian president want to keep refusing drop-offs, guess what? He go ramp up. He's gonna ramp up more than sanctions. Oh, he changed his mind.
Yeah, once Trump hit him with them tariffs, he's like, you know what? Fuck it, we'll send our planes to come get him.
Yeah, and he tried to play. He tried to play hard on him at first. Talking about, well, I'm gonna throw sanctions on you too, on your country. He said, we don't care. And guess what? Then he went to reneging, like you said, baby. Go ahead.
Yeah, he turned bitch. I'm sorry, I'm chewing, I'm eating. I'm sorry, I don't mean to chew in y'all ear. But
We're black. We understand.
the thing about it is, as much as we call Trump racist because of his father and because of what the media, mainly Democratic media, something that he used to be a part of. Remember? Do we remember that Trump used to be a Democrat?
I
That he
remember
funded
He
Jesse,
sure was.
Jackson, that he
All
gave
people,
money to Obama?
and he gave money to both Obama and Jesse Jackson,
Yeah.
and he actually
all
funded
through,
Jesse Jackson twice.
all through the 80s and 90s, he was a D. He wasn't an R, people. He was a D.
Yeah, he was a Democrat. And he said on Oprah back in 91, he said, hey, look, if I wanted to run for president, I'd run for Republican because, Republicans are stupid. And now he realized after running for president the second time, like, no, Republicans aren't stupid. They're not the stupid ones. They're the ones that have some sort of common sense. They're the ones that's trying to conserve and consolidate power, because when you give people too much of a good thing, it becomes a bad thing. And too much freedom that the Democrats gave turned out to be a bad thing. Anytime that you, as a homeowner, somebody breaks into your house and you blow their brains out, or maybe wound or injure them, you're seen as the criminal, and the real criminal is seen as the victim. That's too much. You're doing too much.
That's a bit much there. That's a bit much. And I'm just like, I'm one of those people who, I hate to be that guy who goes and tell people, like, look, this is what's going to happen. You're going to have some order. And when you look at the Biden administration, you didn't see a lick of fucking order. You didn't see a goddamn lick of order. What you seen was a bunch of fucking lies told on not only for the American public to see, but also what was really supposed to go on. Because what happened when you gave these migrants all this money, you know what you basically said? Fuck your black community. How many black community schools were shut down so you could give the migrants somewhere to live and thrive? Nobody wants to talk.
Sorry, I was chewing a lot.
Nobody wants to talk about that.
You mean? And if memory serves me correct, it was schools in Chicago that had been closed down for years. They would open them schools back up just so they could have a place to stay.
Yeah. And remember, to all those black women who picked their career over their people, remember this.
Not just their people, their children.
Their children. You could have took over this country just by childbirth alone. I want you to think about that. How many abortions did black women have?
7.
20 million since 1970.
Think about that.
Well, an abortion is the most pro-black thing you can do.
What's going on, gentlemen?
Good. What's up, baby?
Bro.
Happy belated.
Thank you.
Oh, was your birthday?
Yep, yesterday.
How old are you now?
42.
42. Good Lord. I remember when I was 42.
Still a baby.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
What do y'all expect from the Queen of the Ashes? I mean,
there's not much you can expect. It's sad because when
Yeah, I just generated that one a couple minutes ago.
oh yeah, and smiling from ear to ear, smiling from ear to ear. God damn, smiling from ear to ear.
All I see is an everlasting resting bitch face. That's all I see. That ain't no smile.
Yeah, well,
Well, that's their version of smile.
yeah, I got some new AI tools for my birthday, and I'm feeling my results.
Doing good work, son. Doing good work.
And
Oh my God. It's just down the wire.
what's that?
Pete Hegseth says that anyone who fails to comply with the DEI ban will be fired.
Ooh,
What did I say? They ain't playing with you, man. They are not playing.
I can't wait for it to filter down to these universities and public colleges. I
Think of
just can't.
think of how many of these chicks got passed over qualified people in the military,
mm-hmm.
given command and rank because of DEI.
Too many.
Do you know how fucking dangerous that is? You
It's a joke.
You gonna see a lot of them Chuck calling for early retirement because they don't even want to deal with it. They just go try to retire before dealing with it.
remember, Hegseth's 44.
Yeah, he's a millennial.
Hegseth's 44. JD Vance is 40.
Yes.
How old is Tulsi Gabbard? She's in her 40s.
Yeah, I think she's 43, 44. I'll look it up. She's a millennial too. Tulsi.
This is the inevitable pushback
Gabbard.
that that
43.
everybody on the left didn't see coming.
She's
Shit.
43.
I think they knew it was coming. I think they were scared of it, which is why they fought so hard for him to not be president. But to be fair to what you're saying, I don't think that they thought that it would happen so swiftly and that so many people would be in line with it.
Well, that's how stupid they are because he said this. He said
Repeatedly.
in statement after statement after statement, I'm doing this day one. Like he literally said, day one, right after the inauguration, I'm signing executive orders.
I.e., I'm hitting the ground running and I'm not playing with you.
You thought that you were going to push trans kids in public schools and nobody was going to push back on this shit?
Ooh, can you imagine being a father? Because they did show black men showing up to the schools, and they like the white teachers would have their kids and their sons in a dress or something like that. Ooh, bitch, you ain't making it to the goddamn you're not making it to the office.
No. It's not even. Some things are just downright insulting, right? Some things are just downright insulting. Oh shit, we got a special guest up here. Hold up.
Is it Jesus Jones?
Well, Jesus with the good hair.
Man,
My man said he's
the
not
good
impressed. Head.
no, I'm just a Negro like everybody else.
Is that who I think? Is that?
No,
How you been?
I just say that because Ed doesn't come around as much, but I know he'd be busy.
I
Right.
share videos though.
Category 5 do not even enter the building. Oh, it's an honor and a privilege. Honor and a privilege, category 5.
Yeah, you
No,
know where I
seriously,
am.
Ed. No, seriously, Ed. How have you been?
I've been all right. It's a new year. Same old crap, but trying to get this YouTube channel on point. Hit 10,000. Now I need to start getting paid like I got 10,000 subscribers. So Hey, people be like, "Oh, you must be getting a whole bunch." No, I'm not. I wish I was, but
That's the
I'm getting
biggest.
something. But
Right.
That's the
Well,
biggest.
it's I haven't been around you or talked to you in over a year, but you know, well wishes, my brother.
Yeah,
no,
I'm looking up.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, shout out to AB with his birthday, and yeah, as far as the stuff that that's something you deal with every day. So I don't really feel it every second, like the second of the month, but you know, so
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm stepping my AI game up. I've just generated that a few minutes ago.
yeah, but is yeah, nah, shout out to. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, ashy female. But no, man, for real. So yeah,
Hmm.
because you can't help other people, you can't help yourself. So I'm trying to get this channel
Yeah.
on point. So a lot of the real conversation that we do, it can be pushed forward. But as far as what y'all was talking about with the millennials, the millennial slash young Xer, um, the millennials that identify as Xers, that's what I call them, which I respect that. Yeah, um, yeah, these people have lost their mind. Like, you talk about people showing up with dresses and stuff. I don't even engage that in conversation. Like, one of the things that annoys me, I don't mean to, I ain't trying to talk about nobody, but it's just an example. Like with SWP, is he'll use sometimes terms, even if you being sarcastic, like cisgender, this is heteronormative. I refuse to speak that language.
Yeah,
The
me
white
either.
language.
Like, yeah, that I'm not even recognized that I'm not recognizing that as like actual language I'm going to communicate with you with, because
Right.
y'all have lost your mind. I mean, there are certain things. It's like, this is not a. There are certain things that are you, I'm gonna say it in the best way possible, are you willing to fight a war over it, like a real one,
Hmm.
like for real, because that's kind of where we are at this point. And yeah, I mean, so hopefully Headfirst cleans house. People been wilding out on Twitter. And it's funny because most of the people that talk about him, all they know is he was on Fox News. And so they basically draw everything from that, typical black folks. Say, oh my God, they say Kamala was a DEI hire, but they hired this dude off of Fox News.
Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Okay, okay. Glad you brought that up for the idiots out there, right? I normally don't do this, but let's look at this for Google, right? Google.
What is going on here?
These are the same people that still think black women are most educated. Like, I mean,
But they are.
but they no, literally, I forget. It was Jasmine Crockett literally said that like that was new information. She said that on CNN. She might have said it on the House floor. On
She
Congress.
did say it on the floor.
She said it
Yeah.
on the house floor, Ed.
So,
She said
so
it on the
yeah,
house floor.
yeah. So
We
people be
presented
thinking,
the
oh, they just saying that on. So I say
But she
no.
said it on CNN while they was talking about the California wildfires.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
What
she
the
said it
fuck
both.
does that have to do with anything? You know what I mean?
Yeah, because
Can
I'm
That's
talking
the
about.
everybody
whole
see?
girl was about to whoop her ass.
Yeah, so it's yeah, I remember that clip because that was what dude was talking about. The cut of the funding. We need to start hiring the best. Like when stuff like this happens, you don't you want the best dealing with it.
Can
So
everybody see this?
Yeah.
Okay. You
You
see
mean
this part here, right?
you don't want a butch lesbian to come and
I want to say
save
I
you?
want to say this quick thing real quick. Let the record show that you ain't never seen no 16 cent an hour female prison worker going out there to fight them fires. If anybody knows that, please send me the pics or posts or records. But I haven't seen that. Just let that
You're
record
not
show
gonna
that.
see it, Ed. You're not gonna see
But
it.
anyway,
Oh yeah. By the way, did you know Pete Hegseth is the second youngest person to hold this position?
was
The
it
first
Rumsfeld?
youngest is Donald Rumsfeld. Now, I want you to look at this. He got his BA from Princeton. He got his master's from Harvard. What does that already tell you?
That he's educated.
And he ain't stupid.
Now,
Before we even start doing the military experience.
now, his service is from what? I've actually been in the military longer than him. Well, before him, actually. from 03 to 14, 19 to 21. He currently holds the rank of major before he left.
Mm.
Major is a very high field grade officer. He's the third. He's the third highest field grade officer. What does that say? It ranks above captain. It's below lieutenant colonel. Okay, so he's commanded troops. What wars has he been in? Iraq and Afghanistan. He has 2 Bronze Stars. Do you know what a Bronze Star is given for?
He's hardened.
Like taking hits.
He's
Bronze-
battle hardened is what this man is trying to look
A
at.
Bronze Star is usually given for meritorious service and heroism and heroic achievement. He has 2. Combat Infantry Badge. That's something that you give combat infantry guys who actually engaged in combat. If they were in infantry or special forces, you give them that. There's a different badge you give the people who are non-special forces, non-infantry units. Now,
What badge do you give the people who can twerk?
Lysol.
Oh, okay. Go on. I'm sorry.
Now, Secretary of Defense. Now, I want you to hold this. That's a lot of years military service. He holds officer rank, right? Rumsfeld, who holds the record of youngest. He was a captain in the Navy, which means the same rank as colonel. Let's look at all your Secretary of Defenses, right? Guess who was the Secretary of Defense? The current one is him, right? Let me see if we can get a list of them.
Say, Chuck, I'm curious. Did Colin Powell ever hold that position?
He was Secretary of State.
Oh, I thought, yeah, I knew he was Secretary of something. I thought it was defense. Okay, thank you.
You would have thought he would have been, but he was in part of the state. The same shit as Hillary Clinton. You got to think they call them the junior, commander in chief because they pretty much they only answer to the president. They hold a lot of power. This is like this part here. Secretary of Defense position of command and authority over the military is second only to that of the President of the United States, who is the commander in chief. This position corresponds to what generally is known as defense minister in other countries. Okay, the SecDef. That's why they call them. To ensure civilian control over the military, U.S. law provides the Secretary of Defense cannot have served an active duty commissioned officer in the military preceding 7 years, except for generals and admirals who have not served on active duty within the previous 10. Congress can legislatively, let me see what it says, waive this restriction, and has done so 3 times. George C. Marshall, James N. Mattis, and Lloyd Austin III, who just was the previous Secretary of Defense. Meaning, you have to have time and separation unless they waive it. Subject only to the orders of the President, the Secretary of Defense is in the chain of command and exercise command and control for both operational and administrative purposes over all DoD administered service branches, the Army, Marine Corps, Navy, Air Force, Space Force, as well as the Coast Guard when it's in control, is transferred to the Department of Defense. They used to be, but now they're under Homeland Security. But under war, you can transfer them over to the Department of Defense. Only the Secretary of Defense or the President or Congress can authorize the transfer of operational control of forces between the 3 military departments, Department of the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force, and the 11 unified combatant commands. Because the Secretary of Defense is vested with legal powers that exceed those of any commissioned officer and is second only to the President in military hierarchy, its incumbent is sometimes unofficially referred to as deputy command in chief. So that's a powerful ass position, isn't it, folks?
Mm-hmm.
So basically, he's over every freaking general in the United States.
He's over
Period.
every general, every admiral. They answer to him. Before they answer to the president, they answer to him. So when we looking at that position, there's nothing to sneeze at.
No, absolutely. I mean, the thing about it is that my thing is, if you have a criticism, have it. If I don't agree with it, it is what it is. But don't it's funny to do these little Instagram posts or posts like they compare General Lloyd, former defense secretary, and that's good that they actually made an exception, because that kind of means they didn't just throw him in there just saying here nigga. So that's good,
Well,
that part.
Lloyd was a former four-star general, so you can't sneeze at him.
No,
So,
well, but they had to actually. It wasn't like, okay. I mean, obviously, it's not a token position if it's Secretary of Defense, but even the fact that they jumped an extra hooper to do that,
yeah, they
that's
actually.
nice.
Oh, that's not a shit. That's an incredibly powerful position.
Well, what I'm saying is the fact that they made that exception, because that's something that they don't always. It means
Yeah,
they really wanted him in there. That's what that tells me.
and look at this guy. For those who talk about Pete Hegseth, we're looking at it. Where is Dick Cheney's? And he's a former Secretary of Defense under Bush. From March 21st, 89 to January 2nd, 93. Where's his military service?
No, he doesn't have any.
So why the fuck are they complaining about Hegseth?
But because they don't like, all of it comes down to they don't like Trump, and anybody Trump picks. I mean, it's really like most people. I'm not even seeing on Twitter them making a big deal about the age, because age really does matter. Because what we're dealing with, it needs some. I'm not saying they all need to go, but a lot of them fools that are not in, like, strategically they need to be there. Like maybe you can make an argument for a Maxine Waters and stuff like that. A lot of these people that they just been hanging around and they ain't really needed, they kind of need to go.
And
They
by the way, he was voted and confirmed as Secretary of Defense. Guess what the vote was? 92-0.
Yeah, Dick Cheney's always had that I'm white, say something look. It's like, I dare you say something. I dare you. So yeah, and they didn't make a big deal. They didn't make a big deal. Like most people, even when the Bush stuff was going on, I didn't like Bush like that, but I always had my aim at Cheney. I always thought, yo,
Mm-hmm.
this is the problem right here. Like, even with, you could argue Rumsfeld, but I'm like, no, he is the linchpin. Before the Colin Powell thing, I said, yo, he is the problem right there. And I said, you remove him, the rest of them will fall in line. But like the difference between what is it, Condoleezza Rice and Colin Powell, and then Scooter Libby and Rumsfeld, was him. That's the dude. And I, before any of that stuff happened, I said he was a problem. As soon as stuff started going left, and Bush didn't realize that until probably like his last year or 2 years, he finally figured that out. That's why he left Libby in there a little bit longer than Dick Cheney wanted, because he realized that he took the hit, and obviously he's the president, so he should. But it's man, that dude must know how to
Mm-hmm.
speak Bush. But yeah, most of these people, they're doing these it's high school. It's like, oh, Hedgepeth is trash. You're saying he's anti DEI. Look how qualified Kamala is, and I'm like,
Hey, come back, Bay. I was gonna click you up. Come back, Bay. Go ahead.
yeah, Kamala is. I'm like, Kamala has had jobs, yeah, but Kamala has had administrative jobs that, quite frankly, Kamala ain't really done nothing. If we gonna be like really consequential, if we gonna be really honest about it, she's somebody that she's had position on paper. It looks good, but when you actually look at what she's done, it's very clear. she's on some congeniality BS. Every job she's gotten, it's been a dude really getting it for her. And no, and you're not supposed to say that, but it's very obvious. That's what I mean. You look at her whole thing, even how she got
Hey,
the vice presidency was on some crap.
Ed, can you say she was the ultimate DEI hire
You,
everywhere she went?
I mean, it's worse than that. It's actually worse. Like I don't
She
like them
stepped away
being,
to the top higher. She's more
yeah,
of a separated way to
yeah.
the top higher.
Which is not the same as it's actually worse. And the DEI stuff, like I really don't even like that because the way the white boys use it, they anything that ain't benefiting them is DEI. That's how they see it. And then you got people that are trying to say the opposite of that, but they trying to put some black girl magic on it. So it's like it's not a real conversation. It's just spitballing. But ultimately Kamala is way worse than a quote unquote DEI hire. She like Kamala could have got where she got without DEI because of what she was doing. DEI is actually the nice way of saying what she did.
Oh, dick sucking.
Yeah, well, it's the nice, but truth be told, she's not a token. She got put in them positions because of what Charles said and stuff like that. I mean, Soros is the reason why she was vice president. And she has never really been like anytime she had to run, she got mollywopped. I mean, Obama lost too when he tried to run for Congress, but at the end, but still, Obama had his wins too. She, and here's the thing: it's not that she lost bad. That's not the thing. The thing is how quickly she pulled out. She dipped her toe, the tip of the nail, in the water, and then
Hmm.
she felt a little bit of cold on an 80-degree day. So we ain't even talking about no real cold water. And she just ran the opposite direction, like mini. Like she's like literally after Super Tuesday, because remember she came in late. And after Super, what she reminds me of? She reminds me of all them chicks, them rapper females that they never put out an album because as soon as you put the album out and ain't nobody buying it, then you realize ain't nobody really stunting this chick. That's just social media, but ain't nobody really willing to put like $8 or $10 on some tracks, or they not willing to go to a concert. So they always try to sneak them into a concert of a more better rapper, but they want to keep the allure, the prestige of their fame there, so they could get people to buy products or stuff. But when it comes to them actually selling music, they don't sell music. That's Kamala.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta realize it, right? A lot of motherfuckers don't want to talk about power, and females especially have a very bad habit of not understanding that power can only be taken, not given. You can't say that we're
Hmm.
powerful, we're independent when you know goddamn well you were given deference over your men.
Yeah, and well, at the end of the day, they feel that in the long term. They feel that in the long term because then they wondering why these men aren't there, and it's kind of like asking where are the crops, but you ain't done nothing when it comes to a farm. Like where's the crops? Oh, what about this food desert? It's like they just basically anyway. I don't need to say that same song dance. What I will say though is if you compare Kamala Harris to Condoleezza Rice and just compare how they came up, what they did, that'll tell you everything you need to know. And that'll get away from trying to, oh, y'all just picking on her because she black and blah, 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 blah.
Well, well, one of them is actually a black woman.
Well, that too. But but no, even outside, I left that for somebody else to say it. So,
Hmm.
but even on this stuff on paper, and it's just again, black women see in Kamala all this prestige. Oh, we're educated. We're this. We're that. No, you're not. And that's why y'all can't get nowhere because y'all it's like a fat chick talking about you're fit, but you're over 230 pounds at like 5'8". You're not fit. I don't care what you want to say about the white man, his BMI index. Stop playing with me. But and it's like y'all try and you see how goofy that is when they tried to sell that crap on live television. They look stupid. I mean, all like they said $2.5 billion for 90 days, and you didn't get one battleground state.
Mm-hmm.
That
Got the
tells
one.
you, you know, it's funny. I think every person in the manosphere available should go to BlurCon, and I would love to have a panel that says, "And you voted for Kamala, why?"
Stephen A. Smith said, even though he politicking, he said, "I feel like a fool voting for Kamala." And I'm like, that's bold to say that, out loud like that in his position. But he said, "I felt like a fool."
Mm-hmm.
And he only would say that because he's put his finger in the air and realized he can get away with it. Not he can get away with it, but a lot of people feel that way. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people feel that way that voted for her. I don't know if that's in his own like circle, because I remember he was trying to, yeah, I'm for Kamala, people, but she got to do this and do this, and people that he know, like black people, they don't want to hear that because they want to be told lies, and it's like at the end of the day, man, we're a small population. Y'all can afford to be in delusion. There's a lot of people with real stakes, and the thing about it too is, the Hispanics threw her under the bus. Now you got these fools talking about, I'm scared of Trump. I'm scared of Trump go deport me. Which that's a whole other problem. But that's how bad she got rejected. And it's because Kamala is phony. And
Mm-hmm.
and the fact of the matter is, y'all basically said y'all really thought y'all was gonna tell the whole fuck black men, the whole America. Y'all really thought y'all was gonna say, oh well, y'all need to do it because I'm a black woman. That's really what black women need to say. You should settle because I'm a black. Like, I don't need a reason. It's
Well,
it's it's, it's crazy.
you know what America said? How's that work for you, kid?
And then people talk about what Kamala's next move is. Kamala's like 60. Her career is over.
She's
Yeah,
gonna put out a fucking book
do
and say
it.
inside the book that she's not black, and she's gonna get a lot of money on her book tour, and that's that.
I doubt it. I doubt that. I mean, she may put no. You're right. She'll probably put out a book because when I say her career is over, I mean in politics.
Yeah,
Um,
politics she's done. Yeah, but
I'm gonna keep it real. I'm curious with what advance money, because if I'm rich and I put money in this hat, and she blew through that money and all them celebrities and all that bullshit, I'm like, bitch, you're done. Like, you're done.
mm-hmm.
Like seriously, you don't fuck a
Yeah,
book. You better.
you cut out for like 20 seconds.
Oh, what I was saying is, if I was in that pool of people that spent that 2.5 billion, not like even a little bit, I'd be on team. She ain't doing shit. She's done. Unless all that money's coming back to that campaign fund to pay that back, she ain't doing shit. She better sit her ass down for
well,
real.
hell, to this day I tell people I don't think she really wanted it.
No, she
I
really
think the
did.
Democrats just made her go through the fucking motion because like a week before the election, she was just like tapping out already. She's on TV literally saying, "Oh, I'm just tired. Oh, I'm just really tired." I'm thinking, who the fuck says that in you days away from an
Well,
election?
and you know what? And then the Biden gave
So
to
the rich donors to me are the dumbasses and all this. Like, you really back this dumb bitch?
Yeah, well, Soros is the main one that did it, but but the truth, yeah, you right though, and at the end of the day, that's how you know she should have never been vice president to begin with, because a vice president, like, say what you want to about Pence, and I don't like Pence at all, but Pence would have been able to run if he had to, if there had been a similar situation, like I can't think of any vice president. Paul Ryan would have been able to run. I can't think of even the dude, even what's it called, out of Virginia. He was senator and governor of Virginia. He ran with Hillary.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't have been great, but he would have been able to make a good go at it. You know, even the vice president, like, she should not have been in that job like that. Like she shouldn't have. Like, straight up, she shouldn't have. I mean, real talk. Sarah Palin probably would have made a better effort, been able to make probably a better pull.
Mm-hmm.
And that's saying a lot. That's saying a lot.
Wow, that's such a good point because all of these black women that's talking this, oh, you just didn't want a black woman to be president. Y'all was shitting on Sarah Palin.
I mean,
Like
Sarah
like
Palin.
literally everything people said about Kamala, people were saying about Sarah Palin.
Well, that's a crutch. That's what they always say. They always say it's because I'm a black woman, which you know what they really want to say. It's because they're not white, a white woman. That's really what they really want to say. And yo, I don't even recognize that no more because I just say what you really believe. It's because you're not a white woman. That's what that is. But truth be told, Hillary was a white woman, and Hillary lost.
Ed, what did BGS say? What did we say?
And Hillary
The
got more
reason,
votes than Trump.
the reason why they ran her was in case of emergency, break glass. That was the situation with her. They had no other choice.
They
Who
had
was
a
they gonna prop up in those last 90 days? No.
you know what? I don't care. I get what BGS is saying. I absolutely do. But there's always another way. Whenever somebody tries to tell me it's the only way, no, that's the way you want to do it. So, and that's probably what Obama told him. No, it's just the only way. Okay, cool. This is the only way. I'll see you in 90 days. And if it wasn't for Michelle tripping on him like she is, I mean, Obama this is exactly what he said because they knew what it was. I mean,
This is the Democrats' fault completely because they could have got Biden out of there 2 years ago.
and
They
another,
kept trying to tell people that Biden was fine, even though we all saw. And I keep telling people this: my grandfather had dementia. I know what a senile old man looks like.
I did too. Yeah, the
You
thing
you
about
you had to put this senile old man on national television in a fucking presidential debate.
they didn't care. Like they didn't
Dog, the Democrats are fucking stupid.
the Demo yeah, they like honestly, even going back to like if they okay, so if you're in a situation where you have to do it now, they didn't have to pick Kamala to run for president. I mean, run for vice president. They didn't have to do that. They wanted to do well. That's because so well, that's a choice. All these things are choices. And truth be told, a lot of the sometimes these donors need to sit down. The donors got way too much say because this politics is not their thing. They don't know. And the problem with them is they're in a position where they can just throw money at the Republicans. They may have to pay more, but they can still mitigate some things. It doesn't matter what party. See, back when it used to be, depending on what party it is, what party it is, you know, yeah, their stuff would be on hold. And so now they pretty much got both parties kind of bought off, so it really don't matter. So they can do all the Democratic Party was ran like a super PAC, and I was saying that early on. It's being ran like, and you notice how when these super PACs, these people like the Koch brothers and stuff, they have their little projects and they throw all this money out, and then they don't get the results that they want because really, the political consultants basically gaslit them and sold them a story and got all that money out of them. Basically that's what the Kamala Harris campaign was. It was like a big old super PAC, and it spent like one, and it went into debt like one too. Like a billionaire that got so much money it don't even really matter, you know. So yeah,
I mean, you got to think about this, right? When when you have when you have these political leanings, shall we say, I'm happy because of this last presidential election that you drew the line in the sand. Everybody and their mother got to see what the fuck everybody was about. And now it's one of those things where you can't fake it no more. You're either with us or you're against us. And what have we seen since this first what 5 days? What about to be six?
The ass. We've been seeing put the ass. God bless him.
yeah,
All
I mean,
this,
yeah, it's
all
been
this
work.
shit has been, all this shit has been told. He told you since he ran again what the fuck the plan was. And you know what's worse? It's like when I wrestled, right? I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna go to your left, so I'm gonna go to my left, your right. I'm going to take your left leg and I'm going to wrap around it for a single leg. And then I'm going to climb up your body. I'm going to get an arm bar or 2-on-1. I'm telling you what I'm going to do. I'm so confident in my abilities. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. And you didn't even prepare to stop me. You didn't even try. And here's the worst part. Everybody's getting surprised. Like right now.
Yeah, with the what is it? The raids.
Yeah.
I can't believe he's actually doing this,
And
and it's
that's the disingenuous part. Motherfuckers are really getting scared and all this other shit. About what? When he told you what he was gonna do. And then now black women are getting scared. Let them
Yeah,
start
man.
let them start cutting off shit for black women and watch what happens.
oh yeah, because at that's why a lot of dudes. I mean, I really don't care. I don't know what you want us to do about this stuff. You know, you being scared. Well, you better get comfortable. You better be comfortable in fear because I don't know what you think this is about to be. I mean, at the end of the day, again, even with the social media stuff, like y'all tried to bury us, y'all can't. Like the communication lines are open. Even you got varsity black male media. I mean, like I said, Stephen A. Smith wouldn't have been bold before talking about I was a fool to vote for Kamala Harris. He'd be afraid of the pushback. So even I'm not, we know what Stephen A. Smith is on, but my point is he's a good canary in the coal mine on stuff like that. So the fact that he's even willing to say that says the conversation is changing. Ain't nobody playing with y'all. People are older. Even the Z's are pretty much on crash out mode. But crash out mode, you got folks that know. The folks that be lying to these chicks are looking like a fool, like Ace Metaphor. I still got to research what's really, really going on that. Purple Pill is they they, it's a good quarter so far. So far, we're dealing with a good quarter.
Yeah. And right now, you have to look at it strategically. We don't have money like that anymore, do we, fellas? As a country. The first thing we did, what was it when he first got elected? Those those wars, they pretty much were looking for ceasefires.
Those wars started winding down like 48 hours before he even got in there. And that's how you know that BGS was right. They were being told they can do that, and you notice how they were trying to get as much done as they could before they had to go full stop. Um, And yeah, and we got this $35 trillion debt. And contrary to what white boys want to say, that debt has to do with excursions overseas. That ain't no like they act like this debt is because they giving it to the blacks and the browns. Let them tell it. You got the excursions overseas, and you got basically these corporations constantly having to be bailed out because they playing, which is one of the reasons why BRICS got online early as it has, because of them doing that stupid stuff.
You
That's
see,
not the only thing, but yeah.
you see, old boy, over there, he ain't asked for no more money. Yuzinski, whatever his name is, he ain't asked for no more money because we ain't shit. You ain't getting no more. You ain't getting no weapons. You ain't getting nothing. Figure it out. You want
But
to
yeah,
keep fighting against it? Do it at your own peril, homie.
well, like I said, most people, like I said, on Twitter and stuff like that, they're not even, even with they're not even. A lot of this stuff is too high school. Like you got people, even with the FBA stuff. Look, I'm all for the concept of FBA, and I stand 10 toes down on that. But how it's being adjudicated is on some. It's like the new pro black, the new YouTube hood pro black, because that's how they acting. How can we pretend that black women ain't on what they on, and let's point it at somebody else, without so I can get money. I ain't even just talking about Tariq because a whole bunch of people to do it. It's like the new pro black. And they doing the same thing as the old pro blacks did.
I'm going to say it one more time, and I was saying this to Charles the other day. I have said on this channel repeatedly that Judgment Day was going to come for black women, and we're here.
Uh,
It's
Not
about to
yet.
get real nasty.
We're getting there. The
It's
problem
going
is
to get real nasty
the problem is
because I'm already seeing black women getting replaced. I would go to a doctor's office or, you know what I mean, take my kids to the doctors or some shit. And then, it's
hello.
He
yeah.
fell out. I don't know
Oh,
what happened.
okay.
To a
No,
doctor's
I'm
office in this city now, it's all Hispanic. Go to these damn clinics.
Yeah, it's
well, yeah.
gonna be. It's
Women in
it's
that motherfucker now.
it's really gonna be funny because now you're gonna start seeing a push for engineering, for mechanical, and all kinds of other shit. You're gonna see a lot of these jobs where you can sit on your ass, be absorbed because we can't afford to anymore. Some of this shit that you have people upset because federal employees got to go back to the office.
Yeah,
What,
yeah.
you thought this was going to last forever? Which
What?
it's either that or AI take your job. What do you want? Go
Yeah.
ahead, Ed.
Nah. Well, it's it's funny because there's people that I know that own property. They something like that feed me information, and they on the ground. They get the applications from black women, and they see it. A lot of these chicks, they be trying to live the Instagram life. They be trying to front. These chicks are not where they. Even a lot of these 92s ain't where they think they are. Because a woman is only really as strong as the network she got around her. Very few of these women are truly islands onto themselves, and even then, you can probably look into what they're doing, and there's a reason that is. And most of these chicks, they have burnt all their bridges, and they don't have no bridges to walk. And then they're gonna be trying to sell these dudes, please, please, please. And here's the thing: the dudes that know they got the juice. Most of them dudes are not about to just throw good after bad. Because the thing is, black women are not the only women that's feeling it. They may be feeling it the most. So people that can provide security, people that can get it out of the mud, those people are going to be in high demand. It's kind of like in the football, like how in the NFL they have different. Obviously, it's always a quarterback era, right? But sometimes it's like a wide receiver is high demand in free agency, or running backs are in high demand in free agency. That's kind of what it is. Going back to the running backs or the big man in basketball is in demand, and they don't know what to do because they pretty much betted. They put all their chips on everything would freeze the way it is. It's kind of like where white dudes are now, where a lot of these white, because it's funny, white dudes and black women do the same thing. White dudes like to blame the coloreds for everything, and black women like to blame black men for everything. You blaming the coloreds or blaming black men does not change the reality of what's going on. The world is spinning. Other groups are trying to come. They trying to get theirs, and you sitting here saying I would have won if it wasn't for those blacks or if it wasn't for Jermaine. That ain't changing nothing. And quite frankly, the boomers are aging out, so they don't even care. Like they care, but they don't. Not like that. So people are in this like state of shock. That's what I see with a lot of black women, and quite frankly, some white dudes. They're in this state of shock, and it's funny, man. He said, no, I mean, I don't know. He said, would Anton become a Fox News hire? I don't think so. I mean, at best, he just want to contribute to him because he can get paid and get exposure. But he
You
gets
know, he's purple pill. He's just enough without being controversial.
yeah. Anton is trying to not. Anton ain't trying to be like a full fledged Brandon Tatum coon because he likes to occupy in that you ain't 100% sure unless you know like. I know, but he like to occupy that. I'm just a man with an opinion, so he can insert it that way. Um, but yeah, you think them people don't know who Anthony Brian Logan is or Brandon Tatum is? Because truth be told, I would have made the thing that helps Anton is Anton has a family, has a business. He checks a lot of boxes. I don't know if Anthony Brian Logan. I know and it's with a black woman too, so that kind of shields him. Versus Tatum is with a white chick. What about Anthony Brian Logan? I think he's single. Anthony Brian Logan can Anton also seems more safe. Anthony Brian Logan had this look like he he's a little bit too confident.
See, fuck Anton, but
Hey,
um,
I didn't bring him up. Hey, that's Wolf that did that,
I
buddy.
know, I know. I don't
I
even
forgot
have
this
any.
is your channel.
I don't have anything personally against him, but you know, I like to tell Anton, you think I was right all them years ago when I was up there? And shout out to Dennis Sperling because I know he was full of shit that time. You my boy, but you were full of shit. Because every time Antoine said something, you had to stop me to save your boy.
Yeah, that's that YouTube politicking, man, and you ain't supposed to do that. Not
And
with that.
even when I asked him, I said, "So, well, you contributing?" I said, "My son lives with me. How am I contributing? Do I still have a responsibility to raising that boy right?" Now he couldn't answer that, could he?
No, because like that was just so
And
stupid.
that's why I told him. I said the difference between me and you. Go ahead and crack slick on your wife and see who the law will actually favor if you're that much of the man of your house.
But you know what?
You don't have that.
He said this after the fact, like way after your situation. 'Cause that was early on, and he said like he probably he don't know if he would be married now. Like if he didn't get married to his wife then, and it was like after like 2000 maybe 12 13, he don't know if the pool would. He said that out of his mouth, and at that point I was like, dude. And my thing is, if you know that you in
So who won? So Ed, who really won the debate?
well, I mean, well, yeah, you. I mean, but you know, Anton, like, it's like, nigga, you in Detroit, so don't act like you don't know. Like, I don't know where y'all don't act like Detroit
So
is just walled off
that's
like
the
that.
reason why I don't really care for him because he's phony.
Well, my
The same shit that he gets claimed for. I've said that for years. Look, I can prove it to you with one simple thing. If marriage is such a solemn thing, ask all the people right now who are in higher positions than you, why did they get divorced? If your wife says, I want to get a divorce, what can you do to stop her?
She can
Mm.
wake up one day and change her mind like she changes her drawers. Trust me.
So when you're under the control, and this is what I tell all these men who think they're really in a power position. A leader has the ability to punish and reward. What punishment can you give to her if she leaves?
cause they straight up be believing they in the power position, boy. I swear they believe they in the power position.
And you got to remember, till they start putting other things to promote marriage and incentivize marriage through the government, she still holds a lot of power.
Mm-hmm.
I had my son, and I never paid an ounce of child support. I didn't even get bothered. They had to ask me if I could get my son. Look, here's the point about power that I try to explain to him. Well, if I married the chick or not, it's not important if the man gets married. Not as important as it for a female. Why? Because we're the pickers. We're the buyers, they're the produce. It's the other way around when it comes to who's the daddy. Who will the father of the child be? When it comes to marriage, why didn't I marry her? Was she a wife? No. So I didn't marry her, but I still had a child to take care of. What's the fucking difference? I don't have to parade this holier than thou money
Mm-hmm.
life because shit, I've made a lot of money.
Anton found that out when he had to go up in court or court martial in front of Danica Marie in six, because that's what that looked like, a court martial. And
Mhm.
he's like, "You was in my kitchen." I'm like, dude, that's what it looks like when these chicks ain't trying to do when they realize. And see, even in truth be told, they not Danica, but Six was kind of dumb because she kind of bet wrong, at least on the social media front. But when she thought, oh, I don't need him, that's what I'm saying. People are around you because you've demonstrated you can generate social media clout, and for that reason they tolerate your stuff. But ultimately what they be really wanting to say is, you got an ugly wife, you got married early, you did what you needed to do, rather than trying to aim high. And that's why they were actually low key trying to say that when he was getting up there. They're starting to get around to it. And I'm not even
I never even seen his wife, so I
well,
wouldn't even know.
no, well, his wife has been on YouTube. His wife has been on his show. Like, so this isn't me like, oh, I'm digging in. No, his wife has been like on streams with him, just like how Boyce Watkins' daughter used to be on streams on certain things. It's the same thing. He's had her up there. So she even like somebody even sent me a clip. I'll email it to you where he was talking about he bought her a car. Like this is before he was married to her. Like
And see,
so.
that's silliness because number one, I, I remember. I'm not going to name the name. 21-year-old talked about looking for a place for him and his girlfriend to stay, and I'm like, why do you need a place for you and her to stay? Well, I'm responsible for her. No, you're not. You're not married to her. If you really want to be responsible for a woman, you take her hand in marriage. Stop bullshitting. Go take the ultimate sacrifice of yourself.
Oh, I know you're talking about, but I'll leave it alone.
And what happens is a lot of these men, when they get put in these positions, we'll see what you made out of. He can't say there ain't one goddamn thing a guy like Anton can tell me. I've done it myself. Everybody praises your son is the most disciplined, well behaved, well mannered young man I've met. So if I'm doing something correct, and if you notice statistically, single fathers get the same results as two-parent households, then what the fuck are you talking about, my dude? You should be actually trying to network with a dude like me and saying, how does a man in your position actually do it?
Because you always know you can carry more cachet, quote unquote. Dudes got to manufacture. There are things you can hold men accountable to. But dudes got to manufacture this kind of male accountability because they don't want to upset the women. It's kind of a long sideways way of doing it. Meaning, and at the end of the day, man, you either want it fixed or you don't. And this thing where we got to tiptoe around it, and like that's what he was doing early on. You got to tiptoe around it. It doesn't fix it. I mean, you can look at the whole Lapeef thing. That crap just collapsed because what? You let them women and their narratives take control, and you just apparently Lapeef is like half Nigerian, so now that makes sense as to why he be letting them roll like that, But y'all like these chicks are not. They're not acting like what they like true investors in what the solution is, what they want. They are pretty much trying to get as much as they can out the system, and it's up to men to actually really draw those red lines. And so when you sit there and you go out of your way, like to even say, oh, well, you got your son, but you didn't marry her, like. So what is the paper really important? Because if you got control of your son, okay, that solves the generational problem. What are we really be talking about? But see, in his mind, being a single father is the same thing as being a single mother, which statistically it is not. And so a lot a lot of stuff that he was saying, like truth be told, he didn't know he was talking. Look, I'm not caping for Anton. My thing is people try to act like what we do here don't matter, but they want to pick and choose the type of people that want to blow up and stuff. And that's why I bring that up, because that lets it know. Yeah. So
Exactly. And here's the part about it. May he make all the money and be good on his endeavors, but on that day and on many other days, you're full of shit because there ain't a god. Not even Dennis Sperling can tell me shit. And I like Dennis. Love the shit out of him. See, a lot of people be like, yo, when you do it by yourself and you have to be like, look, there's not too many people who could tell me about being a single dad on this fucking space. And I have one of the busiest fucking jobs in America. Never missed a birthday. Had to deal with school. Had to pick them up. Had to switch shifts. Okay? There, when you try to knock, and this is that what you talked about, that manufactured drama, that manufactured bullshit. I'm not afraid to give other men credit. Like ABM, you're married, right?
Yes, sir.
I give him credit for his marriage.
Yeah,
But you
it's
don't
that
see me knocking. Have you ever once heard me talk down upon marriage?
No, sir.
Or have I said, be careful who you marry?
Mm-hmm.
All you
But
ever said was it wasn't for you.
it's
yeah,
not for me until
yeah.
I find somebody that's willing to go by my accord. Because let's face it, we want we want to be able to have risk, life without risk, and that's impossible. Life on this planet wouldn't be here without risk. So that being said, if something falls, I want to be able to have a fucking parachute instead of crashing into terra firma. Now, if you want to get married to a woman, God bless you. I will salute that. Make sure you have some type of protocols if shit goes bad because of the climate of today's environment. But don't tell black men who are raising their kids, "Oh, you're part of the you're part of the you're part of the problem being a single father." Being a single father and being a single mother are two different fucking things. He said about it, that's a $2 whore.
That's another thing too, man. That's that, yeah, man, you ain't camming up. So, and it's like, yo, and he had to figure that out. That they ain't got nothing to do with dudes ain't camming up because they don't want to. I've seen plenty of dudes that like on that Fugazi podcast. I'm talking about not even the dudes that be debating him. So he's on the red pill side, they're on the opposite side. They be looking busted. And it's like, yo, stop this like thing that because people ain't camming up they don't they don't have nothing to contribute. That is so stupid. Um
Listen, listen, that whole cam up shit, I'm gonna tell you, a lot of you, including yourself, Ed, have seen me with various women at various different times, even stopping in to say hello when I'm out on dates with various women, very beautiful women. Trust me, my dick got more mileage than Route 66. Okay, I and and I'm not bragging about it. I'm not putting anybody down. I just hit my stride. That's all I tell people. Now, if I would have found the so-called perfect wife for me in my 20s, would I have gotten married? Maybe, maybe not. Let's keep that a buck. Um, because I always preach to young men, go see the world first. Go see the world first. You can't tell me that you're ready to settle down and be married at 21 when you don't know shit about the real world. You're like what, 3 years removed, 3 4 years removed from high school. Go somewhere and see the go to, if you're not going to go to the military, go to Job Corps, go to Peace Corps. Get outside your comfort zone, which is, you see the title. Get outside your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you have kids, what's the most important thing about having children? You got to be
Money.
able to teach that ass something. You got to have the wherewithal and the knowledge to provide them something.
Gotta raise them.
You got to raise them. And think about this, right? I don't give a fuck about, and I've said this to many people, and Cerulli is my boy, half the Great Faulkner Initiatives. And I had to tell him, it's not about about women's choice in men. I don't care who you fucking. Show me what you think of men in your community. Tell me how you treat the men that you birth.
Mm.
And that tells me a lot about your character. If your boys are being subpar, if there's not a close to parallel graduation rate and college rate for your boys and girls, then what the fuck is wrong? So you're telling me by definition that the boys are innately slower than the girls, less intelligent? or is the system not acquiescing to how boys learn?
Well, that's how you that's the checkmate. And that's and you notice you don't never see anything purple pill touch that. Like I ain't you they never touch that because at the
It
end of the
won't go
day,
nowhere
They
near
can't.
it.
the
They
only
will not go anywhere near it.
and what the pro blacks will try to do, and I almost put a lot of pro blacks on the blue pill side to be honest. But what they will try to do is they'll try to say, well, the men need to come in here and help. They'll try to skip that part. And I'm like, even if I agree with that, the problem is they want the men to come in and give free labor under female specifications. It ain't like they saying, give me
Thank
the
you.
kid and what you get is what you get. They don't want that. They don't want men. They really don't want they want the men to give them help. They
They
don't
want
want
to
the
be
men to turn the
subverted.
They
boys.
want to be subsidized like
Yeah.
the fucking government subsidizes them. And I tell people, I say, damn, I don't advocate for stepfathers, but hell, at least the stepfather gets some pussy out the deal. I
And
Mhm.
you
don't like this mentor shit. And hats off to the brothers that do. You know what I mean? I would never tell you not to. But the idea that a black man is supposed to be obligated to come mentor your bastard kid. So wait a minute, I'm supposed to take time out my day and mentor King Von Jr. Get the fuck out of here. I'm not
no.
no. And then I don't get shit from it.
And here's the funny thing.
You
They're
don't
not
even
even
you
they're
don't
not
you're not even guaranteed pussy, my nigga.
and they're not even smart enough to pull the dudes in their own family. But they do because
No, no,
because,
no,
because
no. Ed. I gotta stop you right there. What you just said was very. I want you to go, please. Parental advisory, explicit content. I gotta give you a salute for saying that part.
Thundercats!
that's
Oh man,
funny.
that shit looks so beautiful when they
And this
shoot.
and I say that and
Okay.
because this is how you know what they did. This is how you know like how much they be thinking about this. They're not even going at it in a smart way. They want random Negroes, ABM, to just come and deal with their boys. They don't even because here's why. Here's why. Because this is the same thing with my family. My mom has male cousins, a lot of cousins, on her side. If they come in and they do stuff, there's authority that she's gonna have to adhere to because they can leverage that because it's a familial situation versus if it's random, it's different. Is not the exact same. So that's why they typically don't jump to do that there's a unless there's a certain amount of you know how it is. It's certain contract, women have, the smart women have with people in their family and stuff like that. But most of these chicks are not even smart like that. They want to do what they want to do. Again, these women do not want male leadership. They want male labor. They don't
They
want to
want
do
male concrete
anything.
serves.
They don't want
And
to. But even with the ConcuSurf thing, because people with the lingo is great, but like the people that don't know it, they be like, "Oh, that sounds like some red pill stuff." But they want labor. They don't want leadership. Y'all think they want leadership. That's why purple pill, pro blacks, they try to come in talking about leadership, explaining it. They don't want that. It's like you trying to give them they say they want a chicken sandwich and you keep giving them a hamburger. If you want a chicken sandwich, you don't want it, or you go to Chick-fil-A and you try to get a hamburger like that. They don't want. So you explaining it, it's not the same thing. So, like for instance, with a hamburger, I mean, obviously a hamburger should be well done, but you can have medium rare, blah blah blah. You can't have that with a chicken. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is, they don't want to do anything that's going to infringe on their autonomy. That's another
hey,
thing. That's what hold on. That's the thing with marriage. When they ask, what am I gonna get all this? The only thing that they're gonna give up their autonomy on is a lifestyle change. So if you can't give them a lifestyle change, because truth be told, you don't need to be married to get 5-star sex. So if you can't give them, they don't want that because in their minds, they're giving up in their autonomy so yeah, those are the two principles, man, and nobody never can answer that. They can't because they're sitting there trying to sell them leadership.
hey, I'm gonna give you an example, and shout out to Charles for still doing it. I've done this for 5 years. after my little junior college stint. I went back home. I gave back to the community. The same youth football league that coached me, I went back and I coached. In 5 years, ask me how many, we just gonna be, how many parents were visibly present in my 5 years of coaching, 5 years of undefeated football. Just ask me, I'll tell you.
How many?
I'll ask me. One parent, and the only reason her husband wasn't full time present is because he worked almost 80 hours a week. So I gave him a pass, but he at least came by. He made it to game days, and he would show up on Fridays and get a report on his kids. But out of those 25 kids that I coached for 5 years, not a single father other than him was there. Nothing but mama treated it like it was treated our 2 hour practices, because we practiced 3 days a week, treated it like it was a daycare. Oh, I got a baby, I got a full-time babysitter for 2 hours. They drop them off and wouldn't even get out and say, just drop them off
Such a
and
good
go.
point.
Then
That's such a good point.
I'm not done. And on Saturdays, game days, no show. All single mothers, no show. No show. And then on top of that, most of the single parents, we had to pick up, me and the other coach staff had to pick up and drop off. 3 days, almost 4 days after week, we had to do that. And then they say, why you retiring? Why you the most winningest coach since your coach been out here? Why are you retiring? I say, I'm retiring for two reasons. My head coach had to take a 5-year bid in the feds, and I'm not going to keep doing this for the simple fact y'all absentee ass parents. For what? Like you said earlier, all they wanted was delay. Anytime you tried to put your foot down and let them know what was what about their kid. Oh no, you can't tell me this about mine and this and that. No, if I can't lead them and control them, I don't need them. But guess what?
You saw that with that Coach Carter movie. The truth is, man, we beyond shame. Like honestly,
Yeah.
we're past shame. Like shame is like this is who you are, and at this point, SYSBM is in full effect. Any of you all, like, because there are some black women that are on point. They are not controlled by the sisterhood, but this thing where you Negroes act like, oh, like my thing is, whatever you do, do it with eyes wide open. If you sit here and you get married because you want some jagged edge, let's get married, we ain't getting no younger. I'm not gonna say you deserve what you get, but don't come here talking about what a chick did to you. Cause I'm like, dude, this is 2025. It's not even 2024. Like any of you fools getting married after the pandemic, like after Me Too, y'all just want to risk it. And if y'all want to risk your life like that, you want to risk having a kid, like having a kid. And then it ain't even just about black women. It's because we deal with a modern woman situation here too. Again, if you're not going, and the reason why I say going to these things eyes wide open is because if you're thinking about, okay, if this happens, you have some contingencies. These dudes act like they getting hit with a freight train like Final Destination. Why? Because they don't ponder any of these things. And then when they hear some of this conversation, whether it's online or it's in the barbershop, usually it's not going to be a problem in cigar lounge because those are older dudes, so they already know. But barbershop, they want to argue it down. They want to shut it down. And it's like, because it's like in their mind, you're rabble rousing because the women are getting mad. And it's like they're getting mad because they don't mean you. They mean you harm. And you don't understand that because they see you as an extraction resource. Black women are no different than white folks, how it is in Africa. They see Africa as an extraction, and they are going to do the bare minimum they can, extract what they need to. And you have seen them do less and less and less and less, not do nothing for their boys, and don't nobody bring that up. In fact, not only do they not do nothing for their boys, they go out of their way and remove things for their boys because they see that as a threat. And that is because they understand that if the boys are in a position to perform at a high level, they can't get away with the type of stuff they get away with. They just can't, because, and that's even if the men don't take control of them, they know those men will be attractive to other groups of women. You see it with BGS when he was talking about the chicks paying the Kenyan chick to say bad things about black men, like stuff that they do that's like insane. It's insane, and they don't want to address it. And really, it's really about the men. Are you gonna be stupid or are you not? And a lot of these dudes, they're gonna go. They cannot see a world without black men and black women together. So they're gonna go down with the Titanic. I mean, that just is what it is, and it's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
It goes back to what AL was saying about the football. You know what I mean? Like, just look at the difference. You go out in the suburbs, white people, them white mothers will have fucking what you call it, bake sales,
orange slices, orange peels.
Support the goddamn little league football team. The little league baseball team need new uniforms. They having bake sales and fucking neighborhood car washes and shit. You don't see that shit in the black community.
Yeah. Out of 20 years of coaching, 22 years of coaching, one of the most disheartening things you'll ever see is that these motherfuckers, only one time, I've seen a mother buy snacks for the kids. Most of the parents didn't even show up for the matches.
That's the shit right there, Charles, that broke me, that made me retire. I got tired of watching my kids, literally, because I went through it when I played. Literally, it's Saturday, it's game day, and you watching these kids looking left or right, you trying to get that team. What's wrong? I'm looking to just see if my mama showed up, if somebody in my family showed up. Man, these hoes been at the club all night long, Midtown Live, just shaking their ass and dropping their drawers at the club. And these kids are literally crying, and then you got to psych them up and get them ready to play, and then play through all this, and man, look, block that shit out. I need your attention for 2 hours. After that, don't worry, we got you. We gonna take y'all to get some pizza, whatever. We gonna do that for you. Hey, if you win, you get some pizza. If you don't, you go get some Gatorade.
And then they got the nerve to wonder why these dudes be sampling on some white women. These be the same chicks. How I can't believe it. See, this is the story they don't tell. Now, luckily, at least where I was at, these parents, the women, I ain't gonna front. The women did show up. My mom showed up when I played sports for a few years, and the parents did show their ass up. I will give the women, they did do that. I'm not, at least where we at, football, baseball, all that, even the black women. But yeah, that stuff does happen unless you might really be going somewhere. Then
I was getting ready to say that. And LeBron James' mama was active, of course.
Or if you're in the AAU,
or you fucking Carmelo Anthony, or you Lamar Jackson, their mothers are very fucking active. Of course. That's unfortunately, we got to tell the truth about these situations. A lot of these black mothers don't give a flying fuck about their kid being in a sport unless they start smelling money.
No, you got to think about it, right?
They normally don't show up. Somebody has to literally tell them, like Kevin Garnett's mom. Kevin Garnett said, "Mama, I want to play basketball." Now, he ain't playing nothing because it was just Kevin Garnett, his mama, and his little sister. He was literally sneaking to go hoop, and she didn't know. She used to work at an auto plant. She quit working at an auto plant to start doing hair. And one of her customers came in as Kevin was getting ready to leave the house early to go play. And she was like, "Hey, Kevin, what's going on?" And then when he said that, she said, "Girl, what you coming over here early to get your hair done for? Girl, you didn't know? We going to see Kevin play tonight. He is good." "What you mean Kevin's going to play basketball?" "Kevin don't play basketball." "Girl, you don't know, your son is the truth." So she and the baby daughter sneak off to the game as he's getting ready for layups and stuff and pregame dunking and stuff, because the boy could dunk. He go for a dunk. He come down. He look who he see coming through them double doors. His mama and his sister. He said he damn near shitted on himself because she had that look like, How dare you? But if it wasn't for him saying, the hell what you say, mama, I'm finna go pursue my dream, they still be poor and broke. And then on top of that, when it was time for him to make a decision, stay in South Carolina or move up to Chicago where it was better basketball, where he could get a chance, him and his little sister, not his mama, him and his little sister moved up to Chicago, and he literally had to take care of his sister and was being financed by people in the neighborhood of Chicago. They put him up in an apartment and everything, and he was literally. And he told the truth, he's like, man, I was seeing my gang banging with these boys till they seen how good I was, and they said, look, no, you're not gonna bang no more. We'll put some money in your pocket. Just keep hooping. And any extra money you need, you hoop in the streets and winning. This is how this nigga was surviving through high school. But where was his mom? Still down in South Carolina. She refused to go up north with this boy and left him and his sister hanging.
Well, you see, we see what it says now. They're some black women are the independent queen of hell.
You got to look at it, man. Shout out to people like Lamar Jackson's mother, because she actually had to get catches. She had to tackle him. She had to play with the kid. Why? Because his father and grandmother died on the same day. You don't have those type of mothers out there. And remember, a lot of you as kids, you're just an extra babysitter for the younger siblings. Are lies being told?
No. That's what was going on with Kevin Garnett at the time. Oh, I don't want you to play no ball or nothing because I need you here to watch her. Didn't nobody tell you to have an extra child?
And
nobody tell you to be a
single mother?
Imagine being 6'10",
Get this,
and your mother tell you not to play fucking basketball. I mean, just think about that.
It happens.
For what reason? For what reason?
Selfish reason.
Control.
Because if that boy has a way of getting the fuck out of that community.
Yep.
Which we know the black community, for all intents and purposes, is a cesspool.
Yes.
I dare anybody to question me on that, and I will embarrass them. You know it's a goddamn cesspool, and what's the most fucked up part about it is that any black boy that makes it out of fucking places like Baltimore, Chicago, Detroit, New York City.
I'll give you one better, Charles. Don't just label those cities. USA America. If any little boy can get up out of USA America and achieve something, that's saying a whole goddamn lot.
That's a goddamn miracle that all the gods you know held hands and prayed over you. And the most fucked up part about it is this. We, as an American people, we care more about fucking migrants than we do our own black children. Well, we got to make sure the migrants are good, but your son can't fucking read.
Mm-hmm.
Your son doesn't have a school, but they'll open up that school for their little fucking asses. And I'm not picking on migrants.
But no, say it again.
No, pick on them. Pick on them. Fuck that, because you wouldn't be able to go in their country illegally.
That's the part I'm talking about. That's the part I'm talking about. Could I go in their country? Somebody who defended this country, should I have a right to complain on what the fuck is my country doing? How you going to help motherfuckers in Ukraine? How the fuck you going to help Israel when you can't even help Baltimore? We're 40 to 50 miles away from your ass.
Yeah, how you going to support migrants when you still have homeless veterans out on the street?
You can't. You got homeless veterans, people who fought for this country. You got my ancestral home, Bertie County, Windsor, North Carolina. How the fuck you gonna talk about $750 for people who lost everything? The fuck? Are you fucking serious? But yet, you want us to worry about other people when they ain't worried about us. They don't even bring their money back within our communities. And these are the same motherfuckers that are happy to call you a nigga.
Do it in a heartbeat.
Don't talk about Joe Biden like that. Oh, let me shut up.
Oh no, we don't talk about his stanky ass. Shit. Feel no remorse about doing it neither. Ain't shit. Ain't shit Joe.
And then you want to get mad with a guy like me and say, well, Charles, you're not right in the head by saying this shit. So the fuck what? So the fuck what?
Oh, bro, you right as rain. Fuck them.
And it hurts. And I mean, it fucking hurts to go out there and see young black men who can't even fuck around and graduate on time. I gotta sell these drugs, or I gotta put food on the table like I'm the adult. Why do you think a few months ago I made that show 20-year-old should not have 40-year-old problems? That's why people think, and I've been a mentor for a long time. And guess what the hard part for a lot of the mentees had to do? I had to put them in hard situations to teach them how to think like an adult. Don't you think it's time? Well, what about this? No, 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 no. You put yourself in this predicament. How you get out of it? No help. No help. The one thing about being a black man in America, who's doing this for you? Pay attention to the screen, please. Who's doing this to you? Who's doing that for you?
The black community led by black women on one side and Anglo-Saxon Caucasian community on the other side.
And who's in the middle?
Us.
We've
Black
been
men.
holding this motherfucker together since A1 day one. We ain't asked for much except treat me the same as anybody else, give me the same opportunity, and leave me the fuck alone. But yet, when a black man says, all I want to do is just get a decent job, a decent wage, be treated like any other goddamn American's supposed to, what happens? What happens? Because of your fucking fear. See, that black community been held together by that black man. See, you want all the fucking powers, the godlike power of Superman, but you don't want to respect that man.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to encourage that man. You're not inspirational. You're not worth protecting because you constantly put yourself in danger. And what's the first rule of protection?
Obedience.
How can I protect something that does not obey the law of protection?
Mm.
They won't obey and they will not submit.
The next time, and I mean this for everybody listening to the sound of my voice, whether live or recorded, the next time you get a black chick, especially a black chick, say we're not protected by our men, ask her this one fundamental question. Have you been obedient to your men? And watch the look on her face. Don't tell me about protection. I'm pretty sure ABM God forbid anything happens, but if emergency happened, your wife not asking questions, isn't she?
No, she's going to turn to me and want me to come up with a plan and a solution.
And she's gonna carry that motherfucker out. Like, look, I'm gonna listen to you. I ain't arguing shit. Get us out of this, right?
Yeah.
So your wife, unlike majority of black women, almost 80% of black women will never get married in their lifetime. Almost 80% of women will never get married. What is it currently? 75%?
Roughly, yeah.
So you're telling me, and it's growing, that 75%, three quarters of black women have no protection.
That's not true. That's not true, Charles. Chuck, they always got Uncle Sam in their mind. As
No,
long as they
that
got
ain't
Sam,
protection.
Well, not
they,
anymore.
Uncle
they,
Sam got to get there. Here's the rule of Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam has to get there first. That's like you leaving your 12 gauge in your car, somebody breaking in your house. What good does it do you? You got to get to the fucking phone first. And that's what the equivalent it is. That's the reason why I kept that gift right there. Because that explains in visual content the relationship of the United States government, the black community, and you, black man. You've been holding these motherfuckers together for over almost 300 fucking years. You fought their wars. You fucking brought them out of economic ruin. You gave everybody in the fucking country civil rights. The man who gave civil rights is the one who least benefits from it. And this is what I tell people: no more. Before God and country goes I. If I gotta defend this bitch, I want every motherfucking thing I can get out of it. Fuck you and your old crew. Fuck this comfort zone shit. Well, you know the ladies, I don't give a fuck what the ladies like anymore. Okay?
stop giving a fuck what they think. For real.
If they really wanted to be with me, if they really wanted protection, they would have been on that bus a long time ago. Some of you talk to me in the real world. I think ABM, you got my number, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Yep, I got Charles's number.
Let me give you the new one just in case in the back chat. I'm gonna tell you. Anybody who's seen me in real life, I'm even more raw than I am on here. And there's a reason. You get tired of seeing the lies that people put out there.
Right.
You get tired of the bullshit. And I've asked female friends of mine, you got engaged to this guy, you got married to this guy. You have myself and other men like me. Why do you get married to that? And one female finally answered, because I could control dude. Thank you for being honest. Thank you for being honest. You rather have control than to have salvation. Somebody put that in the fucking chat. Boy, I need to make a t-shirt out of that. T-shirts are coming, baby. T-shirts are coming, folks. You rather have control than salvation. That right there is the number one doctrine of the gynocracy. And people think, well, you know, it sounds better. I ain't bitter. I am not bitter. I'm just fucking honest. You rather have control than salvation. That black man had the keys to liberate countries. And you don't think he can liberate you? Really? 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 I want you to really think about that. That man liberated fucking countries. That man sometimes couldn't read, but created 80%, 85% of the inventions we have today. George Washington Carver's inventions and patents alone got us out of economic dirt after the Civil War. You want to tell me every time when they be like, well, you need more black positive role models and fathers. And you know you're gonna have what's that one dude who go to the college campuses and try to debate those kids?
Charlie Kirk.
Yeah. You know what I would tell him? Does America have a bad habit of assassinating our heroes?
Yes.
There's a reason why you go to college campuses because he can outsmart them. He couldn't come to an ABM, an Angry Man, a fucking AL, a AB Media, an Edward Anderson, a BGS, a Dr. T or son. He would have stayed the fuck away from Dr. Neil and Dr. T and Green Gorilla. Them white boys know where they need to go. Them white boys know where they could go.
You would have broke his ass down like a fraction.
Would have broke his ass down like a fucking basic training M4. From fucking stock to barrel. I would have asked him this one question. Why do you think we should get reparations? Because even if you didn't get money and your parents ain't rich, by you being white, you have access to capital. I do not. Well, how can you prove that? Redlining. Redlining anyone? Gentrification anyone? Instead of actually taking up all these fucking houses and fixing them up and making them become overpriced and then making your grandparents or your aunts and uncles taxes go up, you could have gave those to the younger Baltimoreans who were actually working and bring up a tax base. But if you go right down on Preston Street, you can get a house that's $150 and that same or $60 or actually, let's be honest, $80,000, but 3 blocks away, same year was built, same architect. That house is $480, $80,000. Oh, let's talk some more. Why was the black community heavily policed? Majority of the motherfuckers who were buying crack cocaine came from where? A lot of them from the counties. Am I lying, ABM?
You're all correct, sir.
Suburbs, outskirts,
Out of state suburbs at that. You can come to Baltimore and some of these dope strips. You'll see Pennsylvania plates, DC plates.
Yep. What they tell me when I pulled this one guy, man, Baltimore got the best crack in town. So let me ask you this one. Why isn't that you motherfuckers never went to go police the college campuses like Loyola that has more drugs running in that campus than Greenmount and York Road ever will?
Can't raid the colleges because that'll put a stain. That'll put a stain on the white man's image.
And that's what they said when the campus police called us. Well, you could turn this in. I said, "Well, give me the person who drugs it was, so I could arrest them, then turn it in." Well, we're not going to do that. Then I'm not turning that shit in. Burn it for all I give a fuck.
If that's the case, give it back to them.
Yeah, because
and you know what's fucked up? You know those was white people's drugs. That's why they didn't want to do it. Because if it would have been a black student drugs, he would have easily handled them over to.
Oh, trust me. ABM knows. Like he knows when you go to Loyola up there on Charles Street. What's that? Villa Julie. Notre Dame.
Yeah, Charles, I'm
Significant.
about to cut out. I'll catch
All
you
right,
later.
man. You must have been getting too many kills on Call of Duty.
He got a bedtime.
Yeah.
Oh, you can hear the video game. That was Tomb Raider.
You were popping somebody's ass. And it goes to me. All right, always a pleasure, AB.
All right.
But I'm gonna say this.
Catch you later, AB.
It's funny how you get Charlie Kirk and all these other dudes talking about why do we need reparations? How much money was siphoned out the black community after integration? How many black people were robbed of their wealth? Matter of fact, let's go to the fucking housing crisis. What was that back in 2005?
08.
08? Thank you. How many of those predatory loans were given out? People losing their homes. How many jobs were taken away? But we ain't gonna say shit about that, are we? You ain't gonna say shit about that. How many young black men you sent to prison, 3 strikes and you out, off of possession charges, by the way, and it was just marijuana, but you gave them, 5-10 years, but yet you want them to go tell them, go raise your families. How can I raise my family if you don't give me the job, but now you got me listed as a fucking felon? But yet a white boy could smoke a doobie with no problem in so many areas. See, y'all look at white boys differently in the court of law than black kids. And it's been proven.
That's just a white boy being a white boy kid in the mind.
And the fucked up thing about that is that you got these black women who get these fucking jobs as assistant district attorneys, prosecutors, and shit, and they go right along with it. Judges.
And they will go hard in the paint to lock that motherfucker up.
Man.
And you telling me it took a white old man to have mercy on a black kid, but this one chick wanted to fucking lock and throw this boy away. And you think this
Hey, Charles, you remember a few years back, you had that one black DA attorney literally getting in a whole loudmouth ass argument with the judge. The judge was just trying to get a boy leniency, and she wanted to throw the fucking book at the boy. And she was literally going ham arguing with the judge.
Yeah. If I was the judge, I'd have had her ass in contempt. I'd have had her in contempt of court. And I'm thinking to myself, with friends like you, who the fuck need enemies? Who the fuck need enemies? Who the fuck need enemies? I really want you to think about that shit. Who the fuck need enemies? When every time you get your little law degrees, y'all don't be looking to get black men out. Y'all be trying to keep his ass in.
Anytime you hear a black woman talking about she's trying to be an attorney, what's the first thing she's trying to be? A prosecuting attorney. Not a defense attorney, but a prosecutor. She never tries to be a defense attorney.
And shout out 3000 GT Atlanta. Woo! For the cash app.
Support your black male interests. Thank you, sir.
And it's funny, right? When they say I can't find a good man, stop leaving that open-ended question and ask them where the fuck they've been looking. Where the fuck they be looking? Well,
tell it, Charles. They're gonna tell you, I've been looking high, low, in between, and all over. Yeah, right. Yep.
and it gets really sickening when you really think about it. And that's why sometimes you got to go hard in the paint and not let motherfuckers get away with the shit they say. That's why I put that thing up there and said that's the reason why black men have a difference, a very significant role in this country. Well, why y'all need reparations? Because you pay what the fuck you owe. How many people did y'all deny who were black veterans from World War II, the GI Bill? How many black towns and business owners y'all pushed out of business or stole their money? How many lands y'all stole from people coming out of Reconstruction? You should really owe us the U.S. government really should owe us reparations from the crack epidemic alone.
Big facts. Big facts.
How many homes you did what slavery and Jim Crow couldn't do in 10 years of the crack epidemic? You broke up families. Think about this. We still had families during slavery, during Jim Crow, Reconstruction and Jim Crow. The degradation of the black family started in the 80s. Now it's almost unheard of to see a two-parent household. I don't know. You ain't hear from me, though. I'm about to get the hell out of here. Any last words, fellas?
Nah, man, y'all have a good one.
All
Good
right,
talk,
man.
man.
You too, man.
Appreciate you, man.
All right, man. Y'all stay tuned for tomorrow. We're gonna have another hot topic. I might give my spiel. I might get right into it. You never know. But I'm gonna think of another hot topic to talk about. Salute to you, fellas. Salute to you, ladies. Woo! Man, in the words of AL, Don Cheeto is on some motherfucking boot the ass type shit. Woo! And we are out.